President Cyril Ramaphosa encourages South Africans to embrace unity as the nation celebrates 27 years of democracy. Senior officials have met to discuss on the national draft health policy in the Gambia. And Ghana is on the journey of economic recovery after the impact of the coronavirus global pandemic. Well, these and more coming your way in News Desk. Hello, this is Africa TV and many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has praised South Africans who played an integral part in the country's attainment of freedom. The Rainbow Nation is celebrating 27 years of democracy. April 27 was the day all South Africans had the opportunity to democratically elect the leader of their choice. The country's president also encourages South Africans to embrace unity as this year's celebration is marked under the theme, the year of Charlotte Macaulay, the meaning of freedom under COVID-19. Here is more details of that in this report.
The 27th of April 2021 marks 27 years since the end of apartheid's regime. It's also the day when all South Africans were given a right to vote in the first democratic elections. This year's Freedom Day celebrations were held under the theme, the year of Charlotte Macaulay, the meaning of freedom under COVID-19. Macaulay is celebrated for being the first black woman to graduate with a university degree, as well as being one of the founders of the Bantu Women's League, which later became the ANC Women's League.
Many have paid the ultimate price so that we are able to breathe the clean air of freedom today. Over the years, we have encountered and overcome many challenges. But there are still many challenges that we are yet to overcome. These are problems common to all of us and they impact on all of us. But like those who came before us, we understand that no challenge is too great that it cannot be overcome.
The president has also asked South Africans to unite in fighting social ills, particularly gender-based violence. South Africa has a femicide rate that's 5 times higher than the global average.
Let us be guided by our loyalty alone. And our loyalty should be to our country. The struggles waged by our forebears were not for themselves alone, they were for the generations yet to come. We must take a firm stand against the social ills that prevent the men and the women and children of South Africa from living lives of freedom. We must take a firm stand against violence that is perpetrated against women and children. We must speak out and report any instances of gender-based violence, even if the perpetrators are close to us.
President Ramaphosa reminded South Africans to celebrate their diversity and nationhood, despite all the challenges they faced.
Let us acknowledge and let us appreciate, and more importantly, let us celebrate the diversity of this country, for it is what makes us who we are. We may come from different backgrounds and different regions in our country, but we call ourselves South Africans with pride.
Ramaphosa also emphasized that there's an urgent need to transform the ownership, control, and management of the economy so that black South Africans are fully represented and equally benefit.
South African president there encouraging South Africans to build unity after 27 years of democracy. Now, the Sino Majilak Jalbak Dredging Company has on Tuesday compensated women rice cultivators who were using the company's current location for their rice cultivation at the Denton Bridge. The reason for the compensation, according to the officials, is to support the women who throughout their life, even though the land they were using for farming wasn't owned by them. Here's more details of that in this report.
Sino Majilak Jalbak is a sand dredging company, which is at the verge of selling sand to the Gambians. The company's headquarters is located at a place where the women cultivators used to conduct their farm activities at the Denton Bridge. According to Momodu Jamasware, a consultant at Sino Majilak, the company promised to support the women throughout their life, even though the land wasn't owned by them.
We were given a list of women. I think, if my memory is right, it's about 11 of them. With their support group, it would have been more than that. But initially, 11 women were using it as a rifle. The company promised them that although the area is being allocated to them by government, they are Muslims, they are Gambians, they are humble. If they can prevent the destruction of land, they are not for the animals there and the trees to suffer and to be destroyed. They will not do that to the women here also. So they will make sure these women also will not cry. And they told them, as far as we are going to be operating here, we will make sure you are never forgotten.
Denani Konta, one of the women who benefited from the company's support, prayed for the long lasting of the company.
The
chat we had with you guys since in the beginning, we are never sad about it. The only thing we can do is to thank and pray for your company. May the company last forever, and whatever we are praying for it, may it be accepted by the grace of Allah.
Amar Jan, the CEO of Sino Majilak, said their motive is to make a difference in the society and people's lives.
It doesn't cost much, but that act makes a big difference. And for Sino Majilak Jalbak, our ultimate objective of operating or setting up in Gambia is to make a difference to society and to people's lives. So this is just one of many initiatives that are in the pipeline that we will be looking into going into the future. But for those women for now, this is the second year that we're compensating them to give them more than their harvest from what they used to have on a land that we were legally allocated for our project.
Sino Majilak Jalbak started this sand project 2 years ago to make sure that sand is being dug offshore and brought onshore for people to use it and not to destroy the environment. The ambition of the company is to stop people from crying over their land degradation due to sand mining. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
And from the report there by Amindao, next we head to Egypt, where Egyptians have welcomed the country's central bank's decision to allow the use of electronic currency in the country. The monetary policy, which is the first time in the North African state, is expected to boost financial inclusion and digital transformation, authorities say. The new electronic currency will be used through mobile wallet and service providers. Here's more details of that in this report.
The issuance of the electronic currencies is the first of its kind in Egypt. 1 unit of the new electronic currency is to have the value of 1 Egyptian pound and is to be used via the mobile wallet and service providers.
The state and central bank policies are aimed at achieving financial inclusion and digital transformation, as well as to transform the society into a cashless economy. It protects the different sides of any transaction, whether consumers or traders. This system will help merge the informal economy with the formal economy, as all transactions will be monitored by banks and so will naturally increase the tax revenue for the state.
The central bank has stepped up its drive for digital transformation in the last few years, encouraging Egyptians to part way with cash and log online.
Electronic currencies are going to be the trend and an alternative to the paper notes and coins. It's a good idea, especially that the central bank can control the transactions, making it easier and safer to use.
The Bitcoin or virtual and electronic currencies are the future. The Bitcoin or cryptos are volatile. To have a currency monitored by the central bank will create stability, which is important for us.
But is the introduction of the electronic currency a step towards issuing cryptocurrencies, which the central bank has strongly rejected?
There's a difference between the electronic currency and cryptocurrency. The electronic currency is issued against an actual amount of money in the person's bank account, unlike the cryptocurrency that doesn't have any financial control, no base or form to protect the currency owner, nor to monitor illegal transactions.
There will be a limit on issuing electronic units for each person. However, the e-currency can be exchanged into Egyptian pound. Achieving financial inclusion and digital transformation will elevate Egypt in the world rankings and ratings of the international markets.
Egyptians to start using electronic currencies. And from the report now, the fund of Join Hands to Save a Baby, Amijaju donated 5 blood bank refrigerators to the Minister of Health on Monday. The donation is meant to reduce the high risk of maternal deaths in the Gambia as the country witnesses an increase in maternal mortality in the past 4 months. Here's more of that in this report.
Maternal mortality is one of the main indicators of the quality of healthcare delivery in a country. In the past few months, the joy of welcoming a new baby into the world can turn out to be a devastating sadness when the mother died during or after childbirth. To this effect, a project called Join Hands to Save a Baby was initiated by Amijaju, a Gambian citizen residing in the UK. She has been donating medical equipment to the country's health sector, and this time donated 5 blood refrigerators to the health ministry. The program manager of the National Blood Transfusion Services, Mariama Jambe, said the project was launched to support the blood transfusion services in the Gambia.
This project was launched to support the National Blood Transfusion Services of the Gambia to help reduce the challenges of blood inadequacy in our health facilities, and also to help women and children who need blood to get safe blood transfusion in a timely manner.
Madam Jambe said these refrigerators are specially meant for storage of blood and will be taken to key health centers across the country, including Basse and Brikama hospitals. Abdullah Jaju, a member of the project, said the project is making a great impact on the lives of many in the country since its inception.
The foundation has conducted several blood drives in support, with the support of technicians from the National Blood Transfusion Service for storage in various hospitals in the country. We believe that these refrigerators will be of great essence in the aforementioned fight. There is no doubt that the project is making significant impact on the many lives in this country. As this has been the mantra of Join Hands to Save a Baby, to impact positively on the lives of the less privileged, particularly women and children in the Gambia.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, reveals that maternal deaths are high in many countries, but the Gambia's maternal deaths has been the lowest in the African sub-region.
Maternal mortality is high in many developing countries. The loss of a single mother is sad enough, talk less of if it's more than one. But as a country, maternal mortality has been declining in the Gambia over the period, even though it is high, but it is going down. The Gambia's maternal mortality ratio is one of the lowest in the sub-region as we speak to you. But we say to ourselves, we don't want a single mother to die because of pregnancy. So we have to put all hands on deck, inshallah, to ensure that that happens.
Join Hands to Save a Baby project was initiated on the 24th of October 2020 by a UK-based Gambian, Amijaju. According to officials, the project has since inception spent over $1 million. Amijaju is said to have been donating medical items to the various health facilities across the country to help the government to fight against maternal deaths. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
Join Hands, of course, Foundation to Join Hands to Save a Baby Foundation donated 5 blood banks refrigerators to the Ministry of Health as part of efforts to combat against the increasing mortality rate in the Gambia. And with that, we will now take a break and, of course, come back shortly with the remainder of the story. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and this is Africa TV, and once again, thanks for joining us. Now, senior management of the Ministry of Health and CEO of various health centers across the country has on Tuesday came together to review the draft national health policy and strategic plans. The review is meant to discuss key important issues that are not indicated in the policy during drafting, and also for the senior management to have a clue about the document. Here are more details of that in this report.
The National Health Policy is drafted to promote and protect the health and well-being of Gambians through fair provision of health care for everyone. Following the draft of the document, senior management at the Ministry of Health converged to make recommendations on the areas that were not captured in the draft policy. Jibril Jaju, the Director of Planning and Information at the Ministry of Health, said the recommendations made during the review will be put into consideration.
We already have an expert team in policy development under my directorate, which I am leading. So, and we have a team already on the ground, which is a rapporteur team. So they are taking on board all the comments that people are, all the contributions, that they are also making. Then from there now, we will now have a 3 days internal meeting at the Directorate of Planning, where we will incorporate all the comments. Once they are incorporated, then we will circulate the final draft for people to look at and then invite them for validation meeting.
National Health Draft Policy came at a time when the Gambia is battling with the COVID-19 pandemic. The Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, Mohamed Lamin Jaita, said the pandemic is part of the challenges they encountered during the process, assuring that they will be addressed.
So the situational analysis identified all the challenges and achievements that we have made to date. And these challenges are now going to be looked into so that we formulate concrete strategies to address them, but also to come up with strategies that will make sure that the achievements made are sustained and further developed upon. So this is what we are doing here, and we believe by the end of the day we will be able to come out with a final document that will be very ripe and up for the final validation and implementation.
As the health policy of the Gambia expires 2020, there is a need for the health sector to have a new policy in place that will guide the program implementation and management of the health system for the next 10 years. The drafted document, if validated and adopted, will boost the country's health sector by providing quality, affordable and accessible health services for everyone. It is also expected to reduce the prevalence of non-communicable diseases as well as promote transparency in the healthcare system. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
And from the report by Ndai finally to Ghana next, because despite the impact of the global health crisis, Ghana's real estate industry contributed immensely to the country's economic growth in 2020, according to the National Statistics Service. The housing industry made the headway during the lockdown as many Ghanaians, especially those outside the country, were tempted to buy homes. As the West African country continues its recovery process, some analysts believed other sectors, including the hospitality industry, need to be supported by the government. And let's have more details of that in this report.
Ghana's Statistical Service says the real estate industry contributed significantly to economic growth at the end of last year when COVID-19 lockdown restrictions were eased, while other sectors of the economy like tourism and hospitality industry were the hardest hit. The housing sector recorded a growth of 43.5%. The lockdown influenced many Ghanaians, especially those living abroad, to buy homes. Analysts are concerned that the hospitality industry in Ghana is still reeling from the pandemic.
The services sector has been the one that has been leading in terms of contributing to the economy. So the hotel chains and all of that hugely affected. I'm sure some of the hotels, I'm involved in a lot of activities in hotels in terms of events and what have you. You go and see that most of them have closed their conferences and what have you because of the danger that revolves around this COVID-19.
The government reviewed its projection of the economic growth last year from 6.5% to 0.9% when the pandemic struck. But the year ended with a 0.4% growth, according to data from the Statistical Service.
The government has to be strategically positioned to support these major players in these chains, in this value chain of the tourism. It's very key, so that when we rebound back, we will be at a place where we can build from where we left off pre-COVID.
The IMF has estimated Ghana's economy to grow by 4.6% this year, higher than the 3.3% growth it's projected for the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. Ghana is among few African countries that recorded a positive economic growth rate last year, despite the fallout from COVID-19 pandemic. The government is targeting a 5% growth in the economy this year as it rolls out its vaccination.
Ghana's economic recoveries continue after what has been a difficult moment due to the COVID-19 global pandemic. And from that report in Accra, Ghana, we finally bring this news edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can log on to our website on iAfrica.tv. But for now, though, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and bye-bye.
They say we slept in one world and woke up in another.